Sue Wilson, and I have an amazing mermaid card to share with you. I have really enjoyed playing with these sets. So much fun. I'll show you a really cool background you can do, and we will bring in the dies and folder to introduce them. This is the new Bubble Burst 3D embossing folder, and this is what we'll be using for the background. From our necessities range, we have the Can't Wait to See You, SEA. Also from the necessities, we have the Mermaid Kisses, and you can see there's two different mermaids in here to use. And we're going to create just a little bit of a, kind of like a ocean floor using the stitched hills and clouds. We'll use the hill. And a frame with the Noble Collection double stitched circles. Okay. Pop these to the side. So I have gone ahead and I have run through the Bubble Burst to give you that 3D embossing, and usually you'll use this side, but for today we're going to use the back side because it has this lovely little little bowls basically from the bubbles that we're going to be using. So first thing I want to do is add a little bit of ink, so I'm going to bring in some of our chalk clouds. This is Blue Lagoon, this one is Gentle Lavender, and this is Subtle Sage, and I'm just going to add a little bit of color on there first. So using our smoothie, and I've got a piece of cardstock here, we're just going to test it because it doesn't take much, and I'm just going to randomly put some color around on the background, and it's just going to pick up what is kind of the top portion, the flat portion, not the dipped portion of this. There we go. Add in a little bit of blue. We can come back and add more if we like. This is your Gentle Lavender. Don't want to get it too dark. I want to keep it fairly subtle. And I'm going to mix in some of these colors. There we go. A little bit there. Just sort of around a bit. It's kind of more of a, almost like a blue, I think. And then the Subtle Sage, just to give those sort of sea sort of colors to it. There we go. And just fill in the background, just wildly everywhere. Okay. There we have. So we've got a lot of lovely underwater sort of colors coming through there. All right. I think I'll put a little bit of the brighter blue in here just to make it show up a tiny bit more. Just randomly around. There we go, I like that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in our Cosmic Lacquer. Okay, it's got a nice little tip on it, and I'm just going to randomly fill some of the, what I call the bowls, the little upside down scooped in bubbles here. There we go. And if you get a bubble, don't panic, you can just pop it. So if you want, you can do all the bigger ones. You can kind of go in and fill in random size, do a couple little ones. You can even do them all if you like. It's kind of cool, and it does give that appearance of being underwater. Now this will take a little bit of time to dry. There we go, you can see. So there's not a lot of thought about which ones you do, just pick it up and move it around, all right? So I will show you, I've got one I've done earlier. I'll set this off to the side. And here's one that I've done earlier. So you can see it'll pick up some of the Cosmic Lacquer when it dries. You'll get that sort of watery feel from the background coming through, and I think that looks really cool. So next, what I've done, let me move this off, is I've cut a multi-layered frame out of the circles, and I've already got some mounting foam on the back of this, okay? And I'm just going to pop this down so that my stitched hill, which I've done out of milk card, is kind of to the bottom, and we'll trim away the extra bit. So I'm just going to pick it up, looking through the frame, about like that, right there, and take and trim off the extra bit here so you can't see that. All right, so I am going to seat this just, let's see, let's do it right about in the middle. In fact, because I've got a little bit of the glue and whatnot there, I think what I'll do is add a tiny bit of glue onto this section and then seat this downwards right in the middle of the card there. Okay, So now I'm going to move on to my mermaid. So what I've done is I've cut what I call the seeded mermaid out of milk card, and I've cut her again out of ocean card. Okay, so what I want to do first is to take her face and her hair and whatnot, add some color to it. So I'm going to bring in some of the Distress Oxides and some Smoothies. Okay, so I'm going to start with the antique linen, and I'm just going to bring in a little bit of color. In fact, I'm going to bring this piece back, turn it upside down. Just a slight bit of color here, adding onto the arms. Give it a tiny bit of color. All right, not much. Worn lipstick. Now this is a little bit more of a trick because I'm going to use the tip of this. Just take off as much as possible. I want to add a little bit of warmth right around the top here, and just a tiny bit of a cheek in there. There we go. A little bit of warmth here. There we go, around the top of her shoulders. Okay. All right. And the hair I'm going to put in with Wild Honey. There we go. Don't panic. I know it's a little bit on the bright side, but I want her hair to show up. There we go. And what I like to do is just tone it down ever so slightly with some of the antique linen too. So you can kind of just tone that a little bit. She could be a brunette. You could do some tea dye or vintage photo or even a redhead. Your call, whatever you like there. Okay. I'm going to use a pencil and just add in an eye. And I like to use the pencil because if I don't like the way it looks, I can easily just take and erase it or soften it like that. But that's pretty good. I'm quite happy with that. Okay. Now set these to the side. I'm going to bring back the one that I cut in Ocean, and I'm just going to nip away the arm and the top right along this deboss line here. Okay. I'm going to glue that right over the top, but one of the things I find is a little bit easier to do is take off most of the tail, and I find it's a lot easier to line up. You don't have to worry about it sticking out, and since it's lighter, it really shows when it's sticking out. So put that right into place along there, and I'm going to move it around a tiny bit. There we go. Until I'm happy. Okay, so I've got a cute little mermaid now. I kind of want to add just a touch of peacock feathers to the tail, just to kind of give it a little bit of a highlight around the edge. And if you have some of that milk that shows, you can touch that up and take that away really easily too. There we go. And on the back side, right along there. Okay, so it gives a tiny bit of color, a little bit of depth. Just try and keep it off the arms. And let me just tidy my fingers up a tiny bit. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to come back to her in a second. Now, I've got some seagrass cut out of some khaki card. I've got some little bits and pieces. Now, these are all kind of tiny, so I've got a little idea here. So they're very fiddly. I've taken one of my pokey tools and I've just wrapped a little glue dot around it to kind of pick these up. I think this will work. And we're going to start sort of gluing these into place. And I've just done some of the starfish. There's seashells, all sorts of bits that we can do here. Let's do it that way. A little bit of glue. Pop these down. Let's do the seagrass. We'll know where they're going to go. Bit on there, and I'm just going to sort of tuck the tail right there. I'm going to leave the tops free to kind of move about. Pick that one up. There we go. Put this one down next to it and sort of just slightly overlap it a little bit. I like that. And I've got a little seagrass here too we can use. So you've got a nice variety. You can do these out of different colors of, you know, let's try that again. Colors of green or brown or gold. Anything works in a mermaid card, I think. Pop that down. I've got a couple little fish. Now I have done them in orange just because I thought it would be a nice contrast for things. Put those to the top. There we go. Sort of swimming by. Get on there. There we go. I've got a cute little seahorse here. Now what we're going to do with this guy is we are going to add a little bit of glue, and we're going to wrap his tail around one of those seagrass at the top there, because that's what they do. Really cute. Now we've got the fiddly little guy. So I've got some seashells here, a little scallop shell. We're just going to add some of these down towards the bottom, just sort of overlap them a little bit. And this little guy, we'll just pop that down here, kind of cover the tips. And I want to leave this one little scallop shell here to put into her hand. Let's see if I can do this like that. A little bit of glue, and you can kind of even tuck it under her thumb. If I can get a hold of it there. Just takes a second. That she'll sit for a minute. A couple of the more little starfish here. You can add those around. They're so cute. Nice little accent. And there we go. I'll do this one too. Pop that down there. So you've just got a little bit of everything going on there. Now I am going to add a bit of mounting foam to the back of our seated mermaid there. Oops, let's go this way. Put that on there. This can go up this way. I'm going to raise her up a little bit. I'm going to pop her on the side of my circle in like that. And I've gone ahead and cut the "Can't Wait to See You" a couple of times out of the Ocean card. And I think I will use a bit of spray glue on the back of this. And just because I don't have a flat surface there, I'm going to put a little bit of Cosmic on some of the larger areas, the capitals. And we will put that right into place there. Get her nice and straight. There we go. How cute is that? We've got a lovely bubble background with some of that cosmic lacquer in there to really look like it's ocean, and our cute little mermaid card. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Don't forget, our YouTube channel has so many more for you to watch. If you like and subscribe, we'll send you an email when the new ones come out.